Welcome, everyone. My name is Pavel Pish. I'm one of the curators in the Visual Arts Department, and together with Philip Byther, curator of this evening's exhibition, I want to start by acknowledging that the Walker Arts Center is located on the traditional, ancestral, and contemporary homelands of the Dakota people. This site that was once an expansive marshland continues to hold meaning for the Dakota, Ojibwe, and many other First Nations people who live here today. It gives me a great pleasure to introduce three great individuals who are friends and have known each other for a very long time. I think actually most of you know them better than I do because I've only lived here for 7 years and they've been performing here for 20, 30 years. I want to start by extending a really warm welcome to HIJACK, to Kristin van Loon. I don't think I need to do an introduction after that. So to Kristin and Arwen Wilder, it's really a pleasure to have you here. It's actually the 30th year of you guys working together. And you're such an adventurous duo, constantly questioning when, where, why, and for whom dance should exist, performing in. I love the way that you talk in your bios about places that are proscenium and also often highly illegal. And people, I think both of you really know Sarah very well and have been part of the many journeys of Sarah being at the Walker. So I know Philip and I couldn't think of anyone better than you two to host this evening's conversation. So thank you for being here. Philip put me on the spot earlier and he said, you know, I don't really need to do an introduction because it's an exhibition, so Pavel, you can do all the work. You're a visual arts curator, so it's really your responsibility to welcome Sarah into the visual arts world. So, Sarah, someone who's had almost 2 decades-long engagement with the Walker, starting in 2005, the year that you guys met, and the year that you all actually performed on occasion of the opening of the new building. Sarah, someone who has come back many times to the Walker, but also what I think is so interesting is you've been someone who has steadfast, resolutely said, I'm not interested in permanence. I'm interested in the contingent, in the ephemeral, in the now. And your work is on right now downstairs. And so it's an amazing, I think, step. And I think as curators at the Walker, we're always really proud when we can encourage, push, challenge, and really say, we'll be there with you. We'll hold your hand. We'll be there part of the whole journey. And we really want to celebrate what it is that you want to do. And this is such an amazing first step in a completely new territory for you. And Philip and I and everyone here are so happy and proud to have been part of that. So this piece is the first time that it's really shown to the public. It builds on many, many moments because it comes from specifically a moment when you were here in 2018 and we started thinking about this video that you made and we were thinking, oh, Sarah never wants anything to exist in the collection, but this video is so Walker specific, we have to have it in the collection. And from then we spiraled into this amazing installation downstairs. But I was thinking about it, it's actually kind of like a little bit of a retrospective because it's looking at a moment in 2012, it's looking at the Whitney Biennial, which again was one of those moments of launching you into a different context, not just strictly the performing arts context. It has footage from 2018, and then now here we are in 2023, and the work is open. It's available for people to see. So kudos to you, Sarah. Thank you for trusting us. We're here to celebrate you tonight, and please help me in welcoming Sarah, Kristin, and Arwen to the mini stage.
Are these on? Oh, they are. Hi, I'm the Arwen one.
I'm the Kristin one.
Hey. Okay. Yeah, I'm the other one.
We flipped a coin to see who would ask the first question, and I
You won.
I won or lost. I don't know how it goes. I'm nervous. So I'm going to ask the first question. When I give prompts and I'm teaching class, I always like to tell people they can ignore them if they want. Okay. So if you don't like the question, you can ignore it and talk about something else instead. I was thinking about what questions we could ask you that Pavel and Philip wouldn't ask you, because we're choreographers and you're a choreographer, and so anything that you make is choreography. And so my question is, will you talk a little bit about how the piece downstairs is choreography and is of the body and of movement?
Sure. Okay, so thanks for being here, everyone. I see Justin Jones, and I haven't said hi to you yet, but I'm like, oh my God, hi. Dancer people are dancer people. And I've been thinking so much about that in this. Okay, if I'm not answering the question, you can also pull me back. In this situation where I'm suddenly in relationship to object work and permanence of my own making, like I entered into the situation. I have been terrified the whole time because, as Pavel said earlier, there's some way in which my relationship to art or artifact cannot separate from life, or does not want to separate from life. Of course, artifact, you can, exist beyond a single life, but my own body or my own living or what happens in the moment when I'm producing it. So I can hear it. I had to trust that I'm interested in the experiments of, and have been also recently, that a dance person, a choreographer, handling and bringing objects into any frame is basically in the same output relationship. I'm not. I can't say that I did that. That's the trust, but I'm not sure. I'm like, it's too early to know if that is actually true. So, but I feel that, and with the support of Kaz, wherever she is in this room, who holds me accountable to, or is my partner in understanding how to remain dancers at all times. So I don't know, it doesn't really answer it, but it's very important to me that I'm in an acquisition, in a museum, not as a museum acquiring an object of dance, but but a live artifact or something. Was that bad?
That was great.
Junket? That might have been Junket. I don't know. I'm trying.
And my experience watching it made a couple words came to mind that are really words I think of as a dancer, that I think about and feel all the time as a dancer. Things like decay and imperfection and sensation and change.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think so maybe this is like too I want to mention it, so I'm using this opportunity to mention it, that when I was first here, the first time I was here was actually on a site visit to make Daylight, like the opening of the building that Philip invited me to do. And that's when I met Colin, whose parents are here. And that's, yeah, hi. And that's how I have my daughter. And so there's like this, anyway, but when we did Daylight, Mary Harding, where are you? Mary Harding, who has taught at Purpidge High School for how many years? 32 years, bringing up dancers in Minneapolis. And so I have been so lucky to have this contact with, I don't know, like dance in that formative relationship. Whatever, I'm saying nothing. But just to say that, coming back into the building and being in the Metrotech Gallery where we passed through with all those kids in 2005. And how old are they now? I mean, what was, in terms of decay? Yeah, like they're like 35 or something. They're like, you know what I mean? They were little, you know, whatever. And so that's it. It didn't answer the question. But they're in the room. I guess I want to say that. I am not doing a good job. I'm really sorry.
You're doing a great job. And congratulations on this piece. I love it. It's amazing. It it gives me so much pleasure right away, and then like so much more arrives, like little gems in the shadows. So actually, this is great. Objects. Now I'd love to talk about time.
Okay.
Oh, no, I have an object thing I was thinking of, because I remember seeing you in the hallway when you were doing your site visit. And weren't you looking at the Cunningham costumes and sets and storage? And
I was.
Correct me, I think the words like jock straps and drawers was in our show from like seeing that. Like that's what that art looks like in storage.
Yep.
It's amazing.
If any of you could get yourselves down there, it's so cool.
Yeah.
Get into storage, the walker.
I want to talk about time, and I feel weird saying this, but endings. I love game over. There's game when you walk in, then game over. And I'm thinking about in your dances, there are false endings sometimes. And I'm thinking about breadcrumbs. And I feel like my experience of seeing October 18, that dance, and then seeing this piece, it's like there were like breadcrumbs you laid for yourself. So take anything from that you want.
Yeah, so I don't know how. I was just talking now with I think Mary, and I forget I'm really sorry. I forget the name of the new gallery attendants I just met who are amazing, but they're over there, and we were talking about they're sort of asking me about what's going on in the work, and I really am a somatic practitioner. Like I don't have a sort of conceptual theory that I can tell you about how I'm working. But when I look back, I didn't know I was leaving breadcrumbs. I thought I was just walking away. But then so I'm like, oh, there were breadcrumbs, and I did follow them. Eating happily along the way or whatever, or in deep misery or whatever. But so as we were installing this and this game over, whatever that is, 2 words put together, that started a couple years ago in a different show I did in New York, I've been wondering about Dancer Down, Game Over, A Life in Dance, and then I've been wondering about Arrival at Acquisition. That there's something about permanence that's game over. Like, okay, bye. And I've never, I'm like, okay, what? Yeah.
This is disorganized. I'm going to go for it. It's kind of how the piece arrives. I just love how it's just all these pieces and they're just combining for me. And I just want to say the jiggling wire. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I do.
On the painting frame, and it comes out and it's like a loop. I just saw that today. And then tonight I also saw for the first time the heat shadow off of the projector in the bright light. I don't know. It's so body and life in the objects, kind of opposite of ending.
Over. Yeah. So we're gonna be like, so this is what is this silence is like. This is like dance practice. This is what I'm like. Sorry. So there's a way. I honestly don't really know what the fuck is happening downstairs. I'm just gonna say that, like, I do know, like, in a very, like, precise way what's supposed to happen when, in terms of, but I do know, like, I do know that that there's something about how to continue to transmit energy impermanence. Is that possible? So there's something about, so that maybe. Does that answer your question?
Oh no, I mean, I think that's success.
I think also about endings, related to endings, I have a lot of questions about how you know that there should be a change. Like, the changes are really significant, and I know that they're maybe a little different depending how the things cycle, but I felt sometimes so sucked forward and then sometimes really pushed back, and like my attention was drawn different places, and sound comes and goes, and I was always surprised, but there was a way that it felt like I mean, certainly you made some kind of choice about how long anything goes on, and how do you decide that?
To be really honest, I really struggled with that in a way that I don't struggle with it in dance making. I mean, I struggle with it in dance making, but I know I'm going to solve it in the end. But I struggle with the concept or knowledge that in gallery life, and that's maybe why I had such a good time with the attendants. Moya, Tasha, what, I forgot your names. I know you're back there. Because I know they're going to be there like many hours. Because I guess in a museum, sorry, I probably sound like so ridiculous, but I didn't know, I am not familiar with making a work where people aren't there the whole time. People are just going to walk in and then walk out, and that's great. I fucking love that. Like, I'm totally down with the passerby. I love it. But it did make me wonder, what am I doing here? What am I actually doing? Because I have no idea about when a change should happen, because I don't know when anyone walked in.
Right.
So I don't know. On the other hand, I was in the room for many days and have a relationship to all those materials, and wanted to feel how they took their own stance within the range and the frame. And so I give me 2 more months, it'll be like a different work. But we're stopping here. It's today, so.
Yeah, I mean, you're stopping and you're walking away, you're flying away, and the
so
piece
fucking weird.
is staying here, and you just gave it to the attendants.
Yeah.
Like, it's
They're cool.
theirs.
Where are they? They're so good over there.
What?
There they are. Yeah, there they are. Hi, guys.
What does that feel like?
Well,
What
I'm
are you
so
gonna
happy I
do
met
when
them.
you're-
It was way worse before I met them.
And how will you continue to stay connected to it when?
Well, there's Kaz. She's gonna come in with new Post-its. No, I don't know the answer. I don't know. Yeah.
Do you think you'll visit?
Yes.
Do you want
mean like
secret, like security cameras so you can spy on it? Well, how do you leave something?
I don't know. I'm really torn between walking away and never looking back and coming every week. So like something.
I'm thinking about what it'll be like for me to see the piece without you here. Because I've seen you make the gesture of being the choreographer at the edge of the dancing space a few times at MoMA in it was a devotion study, and in devotion here, reading into a microphone from the audience in the shadow at the edge. Really got stuck in my craw. As an art maker, like seeing the author at the edge.
Yeah. 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 Well, I'm at the edge now.
Yeah.
I want to ask you guys a question.
All right.
And also to other people in the room, like I feel one of the reasons I really wanted this conversation to happen with y'all was because in my 18, 20 years of being an imported dance person to New York and feeling this incredible camaraderie about what I'm on about or trying to work with from the community, from you guys, from the community here, Kaz, obviously, Morgan. I've often, and I felt this intimacy with the dance community here from the stage, like, you know, I'm not in the cafe in the morning or something, you know, blah, blah, blah. But I really have wondered what it's like for dance artists and choreographers working here, receiving, lifted up, imported information. Obviously, like, there's a very positive exchange, like there's, you know, you're in exchange with multiple influences, often selected by our dear friend Philip, who has all our best interests at heart, I know. But I do wonder what that's like and what your relationship is to artists who come in like me and how that feels. I don't know, or like, let that be a prompt. And also anyone who's here who is also a dance artist who has these kind of questions, I would love to hear about that or know about that, because I've often felt slightly fragile in that position and also very grateful and wanting to be closer to you guys. I don't know, like wondering what it's like, because I live in New York City, so it's really different. Like, it's just, you know, so.
At the risk of being controversial,
Oh, please.
I'll say that sometimes there is animosity between the local community and the Walker, and there's a lot of complaining. Why didn't I get a gig? Why don't they do enough local performances? Why don't they commission more local people? Why are people from outside more important and more special?
That's what I'm asking.
I'm not.
This is not, don't worry. We love you. I just want to have this conversation.
That has been the conversation since I moved here.
And how many years is that?
I lived here briefly in 1991 and then really moved here in 93. So for a long time, that's been the conversation. And I have had conversations with Philip about this, and I like the word that he uses, which is ecosystem. And what I've often heard Philip say is that he's constantly adjusting and trying to figure out what the Walker is in the ecosystem of the Twin Cities dance community. And as larger venues come and go and smaller venues come and go, what can the Walker do that nobody else is doing?
Yeah.
And I personally think that there is a balance, that the Walker can support local people and let us see people from other places. If we all flew to New York to see you, that would not be efficient.
Yeah.
It's much more efficient to bring you here. So we get to see people. But I think it should be a balance. I don't know that we always get the right balance, but there's always some balancing happening. I know that Philip feels that balancing act acutely.
Totally. Cool. Philip. Thank you. Thanks for answering that. It has been honestly like one of the major things on my mind I don't have another relationship like this with another curator or another institution where it's been committed for the long haul that there's some rhythm in which my practice shows up here. I really don't, I think probably there are many people for whom it's similar. And so, I've often wondered like what that means for artists who are living here. So I'm really happy to be able to ask that and for you to be able to talk about that a little. Yeah.
Can I ask you like a technical wonky question about that relationship?
Yeah.
Like, so it's support and it's
Like
regularity. This relationship.
Yeah.
But you also have made work that's really specific for the architecture, specific for what you know about the audience, and how much are you responding to what you know is here or what you find when you come here, and how much are you bringing in of yourself or inventing?
Yeah, it's not always the same, depending on what the invite or the prompt was, but I think that I arrive with my most current practice and then respond, basically. But it's always been like honestly like a true gift to be able to come here and work inside this incredibly like articulate community outside of the city that I live in, but a very articulate community who has also now I have this confidence of like a knowledge base of my work and practice over time. I mean, it's incredible. It's an incredible gift that I then can come and like share where I'm now at in this community. Yeah. So I've really appreciated that, and I really appreciate that here, and the somehow the acquisition and my struggle, but like partnership in doing that here feels related to that. If not the Walker, then where would I? Yeah. Okay. That was my question.
It's a good one. I think Arwen
Yeah.
rocked it. I want to go back to dancers
Yes, please.
and the way that this piece centers dancers. Like, what do you want the visual art world to know about dancers?
Okay. That it's not a fucking joke, and it's not a fucking hobby, and it's not a gesture. It's a committed practice to living, thinking, being a certain way, and it's labor and it's stuff. Not that other things aren't, but it's a particular kind of work because it's all the time. It's not like you leave your studio, and then it's like, hi, I'm still it. It's like, okay. You know what I mean? It's just all the fucking time. So it's like amazing and exhausting, and it's full on. It's while it's all the time. So, so the effort of the wall downstairs. Someone asked me about it earlier. Like, what is that? And I was like, well, if I'm going to move into museum premises in a state of permanence, I'm going to take every dancer's name that I can remember who's part of my somatic reality, and they're going to. So I would like the visual art world to know that, although we do have sort of like we can have competitive practices, and we can like be like, I don't like your work and whatever. But ultimately, we go everywhere together. There's no way around it. And so whoever we have been sharing sweat and weight and muscle with, whoever that has happened with me is inside that work, and I try to represent that, and that is now in the collection.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you said the word work, because it reminds me of another question,
Oh, okay.
Work and effort, and also maybe controversy. You're kind of known for not taking the easy way of doing anything. And so I think there must be something about resistance and effort that you like, or that gives you something that you want in the work.
Yeah. Oh God, I think there's probably like some basic psychological problem attached to this. That's probably pretty
I
basic,
think it's
like
aesthetic.
openings,
Like, I think it
or
gives
like
you
whatever.
something.
But like close or open, or I don't. But I do think that there is that, okay, this part sounds arrogant. I don't mean it. I am totally self-hating and humble, but I do think that the concept of the avant-garde, when you actually, in order to understand, you have to like go ahead and like move something out of the way. I feel like I'm very constantly in that state. I'm not saying I'm avant-garde. I'm just saying, like, I do feel like there's always like, oh, that's in the way, and then it turns out that that's in the way is like been like built over thousands of years to be there for a reason. And I'm like, okay, but it has to move now because it's in the way, and somehow I'm not looking for it, but it always shows up, and I'm like, shit, I'm here again. Okay, and so I do think there is something about a life in this kind of practice of like, you guys, who in the room is a dancer? Yeah. So if you've laid on your back, and someone has to lay on your back, and you did it yesterday, or even you did it like 30 minutes before, but you do it again, and it's not the same now. And okay, close your eyes, and then okay, like you can take your finger. Okay, and by the end of 30 minutes, you have so much different information that you didn't have that you can't translate outside of that. Like, you have so much information about humanity, your own like wiring, like that, and you're like, so it's like that.
Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah. I feel like I really see that in this piece. I really do. Like all that subtlety, all those layers, for sure. I think we're
at time. We're at time.
Yeah, maybe we have a moment for
questions.
Other questions.
Yes.
Please.
I feel like maybe this was asked in the beginning, but I feel like I really want to hear more about the moment that you decided, or that it sort of came to you, that you wanted to shift from dance into art, or into an installation.
I did not shift from dance into art. Who
Sorry.
told you that?
I felt the room shift.
Oh my
when I
God! What? I'm a dancer.
into material.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. The thing downstairs, there is an anecdote, and the anecdote is that, okay, short version is I was making a work here. I won't tell the pre-version, which is also very interesting, but really long, and I don't know if Philip wants me to tell it, so I'm not going to tell it. But like the short version is that I was going to do a work here in a gallery downstairs, based on in my own mind, not based on, like in my own mind, sort of my relationship with Cunningham, my relationship with the Common Time show that was here, and so I was lucky enough, I was like, Philip, it's going to be in this gallery, and save the dancer's floor. I want that exact floor. And they stored it, and then I came and I did it. But preceding me coming, I was coming on a site visit, sorry, because Adrian Edwards had to show up in the room, and in that show, there was 3 walls of wallpaper. Yoko Ono, Adam Pendleton, and they want to know, do I want the wallpaper up or down? Because I was next. So I came to see if I wanted the wallpaper up or down. But just before that, I said to Philip, I was like, can we visit the quarry that Cunningham's Ocean was staged in? And Philip and Julie Voigt were like, and Doug's here still, was like, don't even think about asking to do a show in the quarry. Do not even think. There is no way. It's too expensive. We do not. You are not doing your show in the quarry. I was like, okay. Interesting no. It's really quick, the no. I was like, okay, but what about, like, can we just go for a visit? And they were like, okay, we'll reach out to the guys. So I came on a site visit, and we went to the quarry. But for some reason, I had this instinct where kind of like really shortly before, I was like, okay, I'm going to bring Paula Court, photographer. I'm sure many of you know her. And Mike Iverson, my longtime collaborative dance partner, to go to this quarry. We're going to do like at least a photo shoot. And I brought stuff, some kind of stuff, I don't know. And okay, we're going to the quarry. So we go to the quarry. We have a rental car. It's like the whole thing is very hilarious in ways I didn't want to tell you. Like Paula didn't want to wear a seatbelt, so she had it was like very like there was a lot of funny comedy about it. So we get to the quarry. It's July. It is boiling hot. My outfit that I bought is like pants made of garbage bags that I think like Eamon was the tailor, because he knows how to like sew the crotch, and Kaz put together. So we like are in the quarry. Me and Mike has the cat head on. And Paula takes a lot of photos, so she notoriously. So I'd say to Kaz, like, you have to say action and cut, and she can only shoot in those times. And the quarry guys, when we get there, they start talking about, it's like this opening with Julie and everyone, this opening of this treasure trove of memory of like building the roads, building the stage, what happened, the son of the quarry guy who was a dancer and how it kind of healed their relationship. And then like this unfolding of this history that I didn't even see it. I didn't come. Like I didn't even see it, but like whatever starts to happen. And then we do this. It's a boiling hot day. This rock face, once in a billion years, sheared while we were there. And pause, action cut. Philip's holding an umbrella for Paula the whole time. Anyway, and at the end of the day, we got in the car. And it was like picnic. It was like something happened that day. And we got back here, and Kaz and I went to the theater and connected the laptop to a projector and just like looked at the photos at the rhythm of my hand. And it was this immediate animation with sound from Philip's cell phone and Kaz's cell phone. And I just know that if I took that home, it would be like in some Tupperware box in a hard drive that I don't ever look at my work later. Like honestly, like I can't bear it. So there's a lot of hard drives in a Tupperware with no labels on them. And I just knew that, I just was like, I guess it just seemed logical that somehow, not that it was even me, but that it was like there's some part of the history of dance and dancers and sort of obviously a particular kind of like empirical system of dance, but almost like at its height. And then there's me in like, Performance Space 122, like garbage bag pants. I don't know, there was like, anyway, it just seemed like, okay, it should belong here as the cousin with mental health problems, I don't know, or whatever. And of it, I don't know, like just that it would be here alongside the other, like that both things could be represented or something. I don't know, like it's not even so fully thought out of that. And then the Waka thought so too. And then that's how we're here today. But I can't remember even why I got on that. But because the move wasn't to art, it was how to then, Pablo was like, okay, great. So how would you install it? And then we went around the gallery with a projector, and then I was like, okay, I don't know. And that was the move. That was the big move. was Pavel was like, how would you install it? That was long, I'm sorry. Oh, okay.
I don't want to hog the floor, but so I remember distinctly, many conversations as this acquisition was in process with Philip and Pavel, and mostly with Philip and Pavel and our teams about how do you install this, and what does this become, and what does it mean to acquire this installation, and I think, and certainly respect the hesitancy with which you approached it, because how do you transfer this experience into the permanent collection, right? So, and I think you expressed that with this game over idea. But I also remember a conversation after the acquisition happened, and you called, and we had a conversation about like how you thought about it and what that meant and what Minneapolis meant to you, and that was that conversation is really stuck in my head. But I guess my question is a little bit, I don't think game is over. I think it's just a different game. Oh. And as an artist that is always sort of thinking about like, what is the art and where, like, what are the rules? What are the games? What do you hope? My question, I guess, is what do you ideally hope to learn? Or like, is there something that you think you might learn, or what, like, how are you thinking about, what you're going to understand about the work, or about art, or about institutions through this, having this work on view now and as part of our permanent collection?
No, that's I wasn't expecting that question, but it's a really great question, because I feel like to get things done and insist on how you want it to be done and like not be taken over by the institution, you sort of have like a kind of like I have a certain, well, I'm not like, there are people in here who've really experienced this. I mean, like, I'm like, I won't do that. No, I won't do that. And no, you can't do this. And like, no, you can't walk in, or like whatever. This is whatever. Like institutional no saying is something that, you guys, you heard it. But I also feel, like extremely humbled and honestly, in a way, like I feel surprised by sort of in real time, like, okay, this is it. Like, I have a piece in a museum. And so, like I'm learning, I guess what that feels like. It's very, very, very strange. I wonder if I could have done better. I did really try my best, but like, I do wonder if I could have done better, or like I learned what, it's like to like leave something. I haven't learned it yet, but like to leave something behind, and hope that for the gallery attendants and for the folk who stumble across it and walk into Gallery 7, that it has something to offer for them. Outside of my acerbic POV, you know.
Can we do one more?
Two more, Ryan, but then also.
I have a sort of a follow-up to that question that I was thinking about, that you're leaving it behind here when you leave, but also you're leaving it going into the future, this installation that's been acquired by the museum. And are you, so it has a certain site specificity to it, being in that particular space, but when it's displayed in the future, it could be in a totally different space or even in a different institution. Potentially, are you excited for the way people put it together, or are you looking forward to having some kind of control over that process when it's remounted? Or are you excited just to see what people do with it?
Please ask Philip Byther why he's laughing. He is laughing his head off. No, I'm not excited. It's perfect downstairs. Is it Tasha? Tara. What is it? Tara. Tara. Thank you. Sorry. Thank you. Sorry.
Hello. Oh, hi, Sarah.
Hi.
Yes. It's on. I had to write a note about it.
Okay.
Let's see. So some of the other questions have kind of touched on this, but you talked about, is it possible to transmit energy and permanence? And for me, all of the game over stuff, as someone who's played a lot of video games and has lost a lot of video games, the game over screen is usually followed by the start new game screen. So
Thank you for noticing.
yeah. Let's see. I had a question in there somewhere. Yeah, so I guess I was wondering, with the room feeling like it's in a permanent state of game over, like it's just in that game over phase, versus the anticipation of the new game might be starting. Yeah, and I mean, we can hear it, and it sounds like War of the Worlds in there. And it's very spooky, but when you get in there, it seems very delightful and almost hopeful. So I guess I just wanted to hear your thoughts on balancing that kind of hopeful delightfulness in there, but it's also very ominous once you're in there. Like there's a clock just going in the corner where you can see time passing, wondering if the new game is going to start. Yeah, I guess there was kind of a question in there.
Yeah. Well, I don't know the answer exactly, but as you were talking, kind of like with you as catalyst, like how you were speaking to me just right now, it made me feel like, oh, right, like the new game is the next thing I do.
Mm-hmm.
Like snakeskin
Yeah.
as a shedding down there.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for asking that.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, yeah, also just one quick
Yeah.
thought I thought you might appreciate. With the game over stuff and the glass wall that's in 7, the paintings kind of cricketing, it does kind of feel like you're in a pinball machine.
Totally.
With the machine kind of breaking down. Yeah, it's wonderful.
Totally.
All right, here's Myrto.
I just want to ask really quick. Do you? Yeah, sorry. Do you see yourself now exploring more of the aspects of dance and choreography through visual art, or do you think you'll go back to more of your standard or like works?
Standard?
Common. English is not my first language. I'm sorry.
I think I return to like the base mechanism and see what happens. Thanks,
Seems
y'all.
like a good end.
Yeah,
Thanks,
y'all.
can't wait to see what
Hijack,
happens.
everybody.
Sarah.
Hijack! Hijack!